I'm just like, God, are you serious now? Like, you are about to take my son, because they couldn't find out, they didn't know what was wrong with him. I thought I would never recover from that. I thought I would never. We thought we would never. My wife, I, and our kids thought that. All the joy was just gone. I'll start with this. When I was younger, I'll say when I was 5, my dad died, not just a natural death. He was murdered.
Okay.
And I actually witnessed it. I actually saw it. I didn't know that, at 5, you don't really know what death is. I didn't know that that was going to be the last time that I was going to see my dad alive. And then the next time that I saw him for the last time was in the casket. And that's when I would say I felt the presence of God in my life. That's when I started actually talking to God, like I know that there was a God in this world, and it just seemed like He entered my life at that time, and it really didn't have an effect on me until I got older. I would say high school is when I fell into a depression, and I didn't know why. So I got some help. I went through some therapy, and the therapist was able to unpack like a lot of things that I was going through, and then it ended up being as a result of the death of my dad. So he brought that up, and I got through it. It was rough, because it hit me like all of a sudden. Let's say you can fast forward, started getting into trouble. Got locked up a couple times. Trying to follow in the footsteps of my older cousins. They were into, the streets and the drugs and stuff. So trying to be like them. My grandmother, she was like the patriarch of the family. She was the one that was going to church, the one that prayed for us, prayed for me countless times. And then I can recall they was having a youth intervention at the church. So I went there, I think it was like 17 or 18, and that was my first time inside of a church that I know of. Early 20s, maybe 20, 21 is when I actually got saved. I was in the church for a couple of years, quite a few years. It's kind of heavy, man. It was reading and studying and learning and praising and worshiping. It was the best thing that I've ever done. And then I, believe it or not, fell into a depression again. This was, in the church. I'm saved and I'm walking with God. I'm talking with God, and I'm praying and I'm praising and worshiping and I'm singing and walking with God. I felt like I was invincible. And then here I am again, depressed. But this time it was pretty much, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I was at a dead end job. I think at that time they were starting to cut my hours. See, that's how they get you to quit. They don't fire you, they cut your hours and stuff. So, and then I was depressed. And I was praying for God to get me through it. And then I was blessed with my job that I have now. And it just seems like it was like almost overnight. I was no longer depressed. I had an occupation that I enjoyed. I actually look forward to going to work, and then I'm trying to work and go to church. So missed a week here, missed a week there, and the weeks turn into months, and months turn into years, and then I'm trying to get to church when I can, and then it just got easier not to be in church. I guess we could say I started backsliding, and I was back in the world. But God was always with me, was always in my heart. The Holy Spirit was always there. I always felt that conviction. I'm being convicted, to get back in the church. My grandmother's praying for me. I'm talking to her, and she's constantly praying and encouraging me to go back to church, because that's who I was going to church with. And then she passed away. And that was tough, because now I didn't have anybody there in my ear, and I didn't hear her voice. I didn't hear her prayers. But at our funeral, my cousin, when it was her time to speak, she spoke to everybody. She said, well, I have a few things to say to some, and I got something specifically to say to William from your grandmother. And then she said, she just wants you to, get back in the church and live out what purpose God has for you. And that resonated with me, so that stayed with me. I can recall bumping into Deacon Lyles. I bumped into him a couple of times, and he told me about his church. We had like a brief conversation at that time about God, and then time passed, and I bumped into him again, and he prayed for me. We talked about, I think, God again. Not that I can't really recall exactly, but then our son, he had just turned 9. It's like about a month or so past his 9th birthday, he got sick. Suddenly, he got sick that morning, and then 8-9 hours later, he was gone. Passed away. Suddenly, out of nowhere. What we thought was just cold. He was sick. He had a fever. I was at work at the time, and my wife had to rush him to the hospital. And then I got the call, so I'm flying. I see our son. He's up. He's alert, but he's blue. He's like pale. And their doctors and nurses is asking, is it anything that he took by accident? Is it any foods that he ate? We're like, no, he's normal. Overnight, he was normal. They didn't know what was wrong with him. They was running all kinds of tests. And I'm praying. I'm praying, God, like, is this it? Like, and then I'm asking God, I'm saying to God, like, I know you're not about to take my son. I'm just like, God, are you serious now? Like, you are about to take my son, because they couldn't find out. They didn't know what was wrong with him. They was running all kinds of tests. Nothing was coming up. Nothing clearly was coming up. All they know was that he was being treated for a possible infection. And then I recall my son saying, he said, Dad, I can't hold it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Ask him, hold what? And he said he felt like he had to throw up. I said, son, just go ahead and do it. He's like, are you sure? Like, he was just that conscious of things that didn't matter. Like, it definitely, I'm like, son, it doesn't matter at this time. It doesn't matter. Do what you got to do. And he threw up. He threw up what appeared to be like blood. And then my wife says that she noticed at that moment he had his praying hands in the corner. And then he nodded. And then he was gone. He was gone. The nurses they was giving him CPR endlessly, one after another. One came in, they would stop, next one would start, and then it just got to the point where we was like, it's okay. And it wasn't a dry eye in there, man. Everybody was crying. I thought I would never recover from that. I thought I would never. We thought we would never. My wife, I, and our kids thought that. All the joy was just gone. Our good days were now okay. Like, there was no more. It was either okay or it was worse. There was nothing above okay. And I remember, out of all the people that I talked to Deacon Lyles. He called me, and he prayed for me on the phone. He prayed for us on the phone. And I remember telling him how angry I was, how furious I was with God. And this is something that stuck with me, and it made a profound difference in my life, because I was told, and this was prior to being saved and after saved, that not to question God. Like, you just pretty much gotta accept it. But he told me I can. He told me, you can be as angry as you want with God. You can be, you can ask him. He said he can handle it. And then I started thinking, like, he's absolutely right. He can handle it one way or another. He can handle me being angry with him, me being upset with him, and he can handle the situation that I was in. I made up my mind that I was going to go back to a church. There's no secret of what God can do, especially when you trust him. I would say to always put him first. Always just trust. in God. Jesus is it's everything to me now. Me losing my father, me losing my son, it's one of the worst things that has ever happened to me. But losing my son, losing a child, I didn't think I was ever. It was like the unimaginable, the parents' worst nightmare come true. And for me to even think about it before I even lost a child, to even think about losing one, I thought I would be done. You would probably have to put me away somewhere. But for me to be able to recover from that, God. So the only thing that I was able to lean on was God. There's no question. There's nothing else that I can ever think of that would get me to this point is God. When you see me praising, worshiping, crying, dancing, you know why. Look where he has brought me from. He's put the joy back in my life, and I never thought I would have this. I never thought that I would ever feel like this again. And now here I am. If somebody is hesitant or apprehensive about testifying, maybe they think it's too small or too big, or they think that it has to be some miraculous event in their life, or they had to be delivered from maybe an illness, or maybe something tragic. Their testimony could be that they didn't have to experience any of those things. There's no too big or too small. If he can do it for me, he can do it for you. All by the grace of God. Give God the glory, man.